Guru Padmasambhava was the union of Sakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the union of these three deities. So he was born from a lotus blossom, so a baby born from a lotus, a baby inside the lotus blossom. So he's of course the true lotus youth because he's a lotus born. And he was born as the union of Sakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, and Avalokitesvara's body, speech, and mind. And the King Trizong Tejön was the emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. So one is Dharma King, and the other one is a king of the country, of a nation. So they didn't know who should pay homage to whom first. One was the Dharma King, and the other one was the king of a nation. Customarily, everybody would bow and pay homage to a king. So it was difficult to decide who should bow to whom, because the King Trizong Tejön was also an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. So Master Lien Wang, who paid homage to whom first? Master Lien Wang. So, when the two of them met, one is a king of a nation, and he thought, I'm a king. And when he invited someone, like Guru Padmasambhava should pay homage to him. However, Guru was a Dharma King. So King Trizong Tejön was an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. However, Guru Padmasambhava was an emanation of Sakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So if it had been Manjushri Bodhisattva and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, they were both Dharma princes. In the Pure Land Trinity, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva was a Dharma prince. And Manjushri Bodhisattva in the Avatamsaka realm, the Avatamsaka Trinity, he was also a Dharma prince, and they're at about the same level. So in my opinion, Manjushri and Avalokitesvara are at the same level. However, Guru Padmasambhava was also Amitabha Buddha and Sakyamuni Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha was the founder of Buddhism. So King Trizong Tejön should pay homage to Guru Padmasambhava. However, they may not understand what we understand today. So Guru Padmasambhava bowed and joined his palms, kowtow, like in Buddhism. In Taiwanese called Kishu, in Chinese Chiso. And with this bow, there was fire sparking to the robe of the king Trezong Techen and burned a hole on it. So that's analysis by comparison. So by self-analysis or pramana is that there are three pramanas in Buddhism. One is the self-pramana, so understanding or measurement by itself. So you know that Guru Padmasambhava was the union of Amitabha Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And King Trezong Techen was an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. So we know this, so that's called the self-measurement. But when you compare the two, that means by comparison. So knowledge or understanding by comparison. So which one is higher, which one is lower? So by itself, Guru Padmasambhava was higher, and by comparison, Guru Padmasambhava was also higher. And by attainment, the king Trezong Techen had not cultivated spiritually, so he had no attainments or signs of attainments, although he was an emanation of Manjushri Bodhisattva. But Guru Padmasambhava had. So with those signs of attainments, he was also higher. So there are three pramanas in our Buddhist studies. So one is by itself, second by comparison, and third is by the signs of spiritual attainments. And the fourth one was by the words of the previous gurus. So by their, like from the Mahasiddhas or gurus with high attainments, their sutras, precepts, and treatises. So that kind of pramana was called the pramana of the sages. So today we were talking about upamana or anumana. Anumana is a kind of knowledge, and the upamana, anumana is by itself, that's knowledge. And by comparison, upamana, it's like logic, like Mahayana, Hinayana, and yana means vehicle. One is Hinayana, small vehicle. The Mahayana, the great vehicle, or the vehicle of the Bodhisattvas, which is delivering numerous sentient beings. So it's greater vehicle. So Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. So now we talk about Hinayana and Mahayana. Hinayana is the smaller vehicle, lesser vehicle. So if you deliver many beings, there would be the great vehicle, that's called the Mahayana. And the sentient beings is less, then would be lesser vehicle or Hinayana. So yana means vehicle. So if it is like a train, then there would be even greater vehicle, or big bus, or small passenger cars, or cars that can fit only 2 people or 4 people, then that would be small vehicle. So that's comparison, that's logic, that's upamana. And then the pramana from the patriarchs or by the sages is through the sutras, Vinaya and the Abhidharma. And then by comparing the attainments of the spiritual cultivation. So in Vajrayana we have Ati Yoga, Anu Yoga, and Maha Yoga. So that's based on comparisons. The Maha Yoga and the highest one would be the Great Perfection Yoga. So that's how you compare. And that would be called the upamana, or the understanding by comparison. Like just now, Grandmaster was seated on the lotus throne. And I had a little bit of laziness. We have three human natures. One is the nature of joy, and the other one is the nature of movement. Like when the heart beats, the movement of the blood, and the movement of the body. That's the nature of movement. And the last one was the nature of laziness. Like what are they? Tiredness, sleepiness, drowsiness, yawning, or the whole body is totally relaxed. That's the nature of laziness. So I was seated here, and then I felt a little bit of laziness. And then once I relaxed, there are lots of spirits descended upon Grandmaster's body. Although I was laxed, and when they descended, they passed through the central channel into my body. Every deity that entered into my body, I was aware of it. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have more of the nature of bliss. So when we performed the group practice, there were many deities descending. At the Taiwan temple, every time I perform the ceremonies or do the practice, they would take pictures and they could catch the prajna lights. Many of them all descended. But at the Seattle temple, there are not very many people who took pictures, or those who can take pictures of the prajna lights. Whether they are tangibles or intangibles, you cannot see them with naked eyes, but they exist, and they all descended from the sky into my body. So I was aware of it, and I felt very pleased. That's the nature of please. And then the nature of relaxation or laziness, and the nature of movement. but actually many deities descended. My body showed it when a deity descended into my body. It's like this. Just now, did you see something different? With the movement, they descended. My body would move, sometimes slightly, sometimes quite severely. When they're in union with me, my face would change slightly. That's how it was. And what is it called? It's called signs of spiritual attainments. If you don't have it, you don't know if the deities have entered into your body. But in reality, has the deity descended onto your body? They should. However, you have not been able to you could say to create a spark. Like my body has no electricity, and all of a sudden the electricity comes into my body. So this means that he's come in and the electricity has come in, and with my eyes closed I saw the orangey light. The light that I saw today, it was a little bit like wheels, like rays, like spokes of the wheel, and several different kinds inside my eyes, radiating light. So this is called the sign of spiritual attainments. Sometimes when you practice the qi, you would feel that the qi is here at the upper dantian, or here at the central dantian, or here at the lower dantian. And this is also a kind of measurement. The gel of the qi at the upper, central, and lower dantian. This is also a kind of sign. And how do we generate this? Because in the samadhi of concentration and single-mindedness, this is common. There is no need to be so intrigued by it and to be attached to it. Why? Because the Buddha said, most importantly, the utmost goal is to transcend your own life and death. That you could prove the Buddha nature and return to the Buddha nature, then only that is the ultimate. It's not in the signs or measurements of the spiritual attainments. It's just part of the journey that are produced as part of the journey, including psychic and transcendental powers. Like this afternoon, at about 4:30, I returned to the True Buddha Tantric Quarter. And I climbed up the stairs and I prepared to go to the True Buddha Foundation at about 5 to bless the letters and to paint a painting. So I got home, got at the True Buddha Tantric Quarter at about 4:30, and then I went to my room. So I meditated a little bit. So at first I entered into the samadhi with the phenomena, and then eventually to samadhi with no phenomena. In the samadhi of no phenomena, I plan to go to True Buddha Foundation at 5, but at about 5:10 or 5:15, all of a sudden there was a voice, but nobody was in my room. Because my room had been renovated. It's different now. I move many of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas outside, and inside now there are only tankas, and one of them is the Vajrayogini. The other one is Chakrasamvara and Dorje Pamo. And the tanka of Golden Mother, and then the 3 goddesses, and my Dakini, my consort, the statue of my consort, and then Chandrasik, Machilabdran, 2 of them. So when I was seated there, all of a sudden, there was some music. Of course, I cannot say music please, then the music is played. There was the sound of music. It was not very loud, but there was a piece of music. So I exited from samadhi. So that was quite incredible. And then I look at my watch and it's 5:15. And then I rinse my mouth, wash my face, and I wore my robe and was going to the True Buddha Foundation. But where did the music come from? Had it been somebody else, you would think that, oh, so strange, how come there's this music? But Grandmaster knew that there was some music that guided you to exit from samadhi. This is also sign or measurement of spiritual attainments. So when I brushed my teeth, washed my face, etc., Simu was knocking at my door. And she said, it's 5:30 already, it's time for you to go next door to paint. And I told her, oh, I'm up already. And how did I wake up? It's because of that music. Did you play any music? Simu had the meeting downstairs, which is the exercise of the mouth. There were several members of the Sunny Line Dance group talked. Talk with the mouth. And you didn't play music, right? So the music I generated to wake me up. There was a consort inside, Majilabdron, and Chakrasambhara, Dorje Patmo, Vajrayogini, the three goddesses, Golden Mother, and they will definitely wake me up. So the way to wake me up is a piece of music, beautiful music, and then you wake up. So that's considered measurement of spiritual attainments too. It just happened today. I just tell you as an example. So sometimes it's like this. You would be able to see the light in the sky, and you would be able to hear the music from heavens or from the sky. You can hear the sounds or the voices of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So you would be able to hear the celestial music, see the celestial lights, and the languages of the gods to enter into you. But don't be baffled by it, because most importantly, as I'm telling you now, is to prove the Buddha nature. And then, by your Buddha nature, you can reach your ultimate place. And then your Buddha nature, to make your Buddha nature merge with the Buddha nature of the universe, and that would be the ultimate attainment. Not the musics, and not what you hear, or the words of the gods, or seeing the lights, the celestial lights. That's not the important part. So this is crucial. These kinds of signs will appear throughout your spiritual cultivation. However, if you got hung up on it and you get attached and you want this, then if they guide you to the right path, it's okay. But if it is a trap, and then you would it would be a downfall to you. Like if you hear the celestial music and you think that you have attainments, then that's wrong. So today we talk about Guru Padmasambhava. Guru Padmasambhava, of course, has great spiritual and transcendental power. It's incredibly great. Nobody can surpass his. So today we will continue to talk about the fruition. The fruit of the fourth empowerment is the body of the intrinsic nature. It will be explained in the fruit section later. Here we will cover the outline. So the fruition of the fourth empowerment is called the body of the intrinsic nature. It will be explained in the fruit section later. It would be explained in details. It will not be talked about here. And the five dharma of the four empowerments, like the dharma practice of at the moment of death, are considered to be the five dharma of the four empowerments. And the appendix on the intermediate state. And what is the intermediate state? That's the bardo state or the spirit state. We all have souls. Are the souls Buddha nature? This is the question. So intermediate state, bardo state, or souls, they're all the same thing. Intermediate spirits or bardo spirits or souls. This is the tangible you, and the intangible you is called the intermediate spirit or the bardo spirit or the soul. But is it considered, is it Buddha nature? It is related to Buddha nature, but it is not Buddha nature. Soul, a soul is not Buddha nature. That's all I can explain now. I will talk about this tomorrow. There are a couple who love each other and always by their sides, and they love each other starting junior high school. And the wife asked the husband, "How long have you been? Have you had crush on me before you wrote me the love letter?" And the husband said, "Yeah, I wanted a girlfriend, so I wrote the same love letter to each girls in the class. But you were the only one who replied." So for this, the trick here is for anything to succeed, there is no trick. You just do everything. So, what is a cameraman or photographer? It means that you just take as many as you can, and then of all those, you pick one and then show it off, and then you would be a photographer. Like in our Dharma practices, the same. There are uncountable of them. Secret Master has been giving Dharma teaching for so many years, and I haven't. It's not complete yet. There are so many of them. All you need is just one, and be diligent at it. Then you would have attainment. You would succeed. In the past, I always thought that poverty will not pass 3 generations. And I thought that after 3 generations, then there will no more poverty. But after I grew up, I realized that after poverty reaches the 3rd generation, you cannot even marry anyone, so that's why you don't have any 4th generation. This is quite meaningful, because he's really poor. We sometimes say that wealth doesn't pass 3 generations. Generally speaking, the rich man would become lazy. Like human beings have this nature, like a pleasure, like you earn money as much as you can. And then the nature of laziness is you just stop. And then the nature of movement is like the routine, the daily routine. The nature of laziness is poverty. The nature of pleasure is richness or wealth. After they become rich, everything relax, and then they become lazy, and then they become poor. So that's why wealth doesn't last past 3 generations. Really, my wife is best, treats me the best. When we eat, she never forgets me. Anything that drops to the floor would be picked up and give it to me. And she would also give something that's bad and something that she cannot finish. And then she would ask you, oh, is this ripe? And then she would ask you to eat it first. And she would take something that's expired, that has been in the refrigerator for so long, and ask you to check if it's rotten or not. Is it still good? Simu has a special characteristic, a strong point, that her ears are very acute, very sensitive, that she would be able to hear wherever you speak on the phone, even from a very far away place. And Grandmaster has a very keen smell or olfactory system, so she would always ask me to smell something. Oh, this is rotten. There's some strange smell to it. So my nose is very sharp, but it doesn't help me hearing she talk on the phone. So everyone has our own strong points. For her, it's the ears, and for Grandmaster, the nose. Yesterday, during dinner, yesterday, it's not for 3 minutes yet? How many minutes? 46 minutes. During dinner yesterday, the wife finished hers and wanted more rice, but she was afraid that she would gain weight. So she was agonizing. And then I said something, and she opened the rice bowl and added more rice. You know what I said? It's already a big elephant. Doesn't matter whether the elephant is skinny or fat. You know, once I said, Grandmaster's heart is small, not big. And there's a girl that walked into my heart. And then I close my doors. And this girl stays inside my heart forever. And this girl one day asked me, "Have you forgotten me?" How could I have forgotten about you? Because my heart is so small and the door is also small. And now you have gained weight, so you cannot leave my heart. It's difficult for you to leave. I have locked you up and you become fat. It's a joke. A man asked a woman, how many brothers and sisters does the pangolin has? And then someone said it has 9 brothers and sisters. Why? She was curious. Oh, because in Chinese it's like 穿山甲. Jia is like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the ABCD in Chinese. So there are 9 of them all together. Jia Yi Bing Ding. So that's like a madness. It's a joke. It's a joke. We have the dinosaurs, Dharma brother. Where is he? He's right there. He was talking about before and after marriage. That was quite classic. So before marriage, everything is good. And after marriage is totally different. When we heard that joke, we wondered why human beings are like this. So it's related to our personalities. So before marriage is the nature of pleasure. And after marriage, that would be the nature of laziness. So, I thought if you do something right in our life, then that would be wonderful. But if you don't, that would be horrible. It's best just to be boyfriend and girlfriend forever. Really, it's better just to be boy and girlfriends. Don't be held in bondage by that piece of paper. Really, in my life, if in my life I don't have that piece of paper, then my nature of joy would be forever. Then I would never have the nature of laziness. And it's definitely different between before marriage and after marriage. But as a Buddhist practitioner, you want to maintain the nature of joy forever. You always do your spiritual homework with joy, and you have to do it every single day. You cannot be lazy. So in your Buddhist practice, if you are invaded by your nature of laziness, then it's all gone. But if you persevere, and if you always do it, then you would succeed. Like chanting Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. If you chant it every single day, and if you chant even once or twice or 3 times of Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, so if your time is short, you chant once, but you cannot miss a day. And then if you maintain it, and if you persevere in this, and this is how Grandmaster do it, and Grandmaster does his homework every single day with joy, and then if you do so, eventually you would reach the ultimate. We are truly grateful to His Holiness Precious Dharma teaching.